Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, AmusedJester. My name is Junior, and we are here at the Millenium Falcon 5-foot scale in the Chubby Kiwi Falcon group. Thank you again, Darrin Hurd, the designer of this file. Not only is he constantly updating it and helping it improve, he basically gave us access to it for free. This is what I call a living design because it is still being made, it's still being updated, and it's still being finished by Darrin himself. Tweaks and stuff like that. Anyway, I'll put on the description the link of the Facebook. Darrin gave it to us for free, but in case you feel like showing your appreciation for the work that he's putting in, the effort that he's doing, and the fact that he just gave it to us for free, in the introductory notes of his files, there is a link to a PayPal account, or I think buy me coffee thingy if you're interested in doing that and showing your appreciation for all the stuff that he's doing for us and for this small group community. Anyway, so why are we here? We are here basically because there's a new update that he did about the engine stand. If you want to buy an engine stand, you need and support your Falcon through the engine stand. This is originally designed by Jon Allitt, so thank you, Jon. It goes through the sides of your Millenium Falcon. Now I'm going through the port side. The port side being not, this is the starboard side, which has the cockpit and everything. The port side is just an open thing right here. Also on the starboard side, you will have the landing ramp or the walkway ramp that that Darrin is still redesigning to be open or closed if you want to. So I don't want to go to the starboard side. I wanted to go to the port side. So I think he already updated the files, and in the files he talks about an updated form for the box frame and the actual frame itself. So this is the new frame that Darrin redesigned. This is the old frame that Jon Allitt. So the difference being that Darrin is a little bit wider or longer here and pointed towards that way. Also included in Darrin's design or in Darrin's files is an adjustment to Jon's, where he made this longer to be able to support the frame and the Falcon's weight completely. In the file, this is a 6-walled 25% infill. So I will show you how to install that. Mine, I somewhat changed mine a little bit differently because with mine, I made a kind of like a shorter piece. This is about 2 inches, and this one is 12 walls, 75% infill. Only because I just wanted to make sure that if this fails, because the weight of the aluminum Falcon is going to rest solely on the first place on this one, because of fulcrum and everything, the intense weight of it is going to be here. I want to make sure that if this fails, it's going to be more solid so it doesn't fail at all. Hold on a second. Alright, so moving forward, I've already attached the new DP, this is DP, docking port frame into this one. It's just basically the same thing, just unscrew here, put in the new one. Okay, so that's not the problem. What you want to do now, it's very easy to, this is my solid one. Just put your insert tube in here and pretend for you guys it'll be the one solid piece. Alright, so put your insert tube in there. Now, if you downloaded the new box frame, then you're good to go. You just put in the new one and everything. Not a problem. For us who kind of caught it just slightly in between, and this is not the new file. Don't despair, you don't need to print it out. All you need to do is make the small cut over here. And in order to get the proper shape of this one, let me do a quick edit and segue in how to create the template so that you know exactly how it's supposed to go. Alright guys, just a really quick edit on this part. In terms of making the template, to make sure you have an accurate cut that looks exactly like Darrin's new updated docking frame here. You can make a template using this one, the new one that Darrin included. You may know how to do this, I'm not sure, but you need to, in order to make a template, you just basically print the first few millimeters of this one. So what I'll do is I'll do a cut, I'll cut this part, I'll do a shift C in case you don't know how to do a cut. And we're gonna grab the yellow ball over here by going to that part. We're gonna put it all the way down. Let's see if I can see it through my camera. Right there. So I'm gonna cut there. I'm gonna go ahead and perform cut. Alright, so there are now two objects over here. I will remove the big one because I don't need it. I'm gonna delete that. And there is your frame or your template. Go ahead and print this and match it with your old one, and you should be able to cut this part precisely with either a Dremel, or I used a jewelry saw to make sure it's all controlled and everything. Alright, so back to the video. And like again, this is the template that I'm using that you would use to make this cut properly. Supposed to go. Alright, the template is basically a small piece like this, and just put it with this one. It will show you this cut over here. Just trace it with a pencil and then cut it manually, which is what I did. I went ahead and cut it with a jewelry saw. You can use a Dremel if you want. Jewelry saw for me just gave me a lot more control, so I don't destroy it too much. Alright, so after you've inserted the tube, you need to put in your docking port over here. And I don't know, I still don't know exactly the proper way of doing things. This is the bottom one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on right now. Right, so once you put the side in, you also want to make sure you put this in now, because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time screwing it in with all the pipes and everything. So to go ahead and secure this. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've secured the two docking legs and then the docking port over here. Now, at this point, the next stage is basically putting in your tube. Remember the insert tube over here? Now you want to put in your pipes. It'll be kind of tricky for me because it's kind of dark. And that's it. Technically, you're pretty much done, right? And then you put in your here to the engine. I'll show you how to do that. But if you watch my video, you need to secure the inner ring to the aluminum plate. Otherwise, it will spin inside here. And even if you clamp this to something, it will continue to rotate inside. So we need to secure the plastic ring inside the clamp. And how do we do that? This is my method, and I'm gonna kind of experiment with it, with the process and everything. So if this works, then I'll publish it. But what I did is I need to measure the distance from the end of the insert to this one. The problem is, the reason why I'm doing this is we need to screw in something, put a screw into the aluminum plate and into the plastic. So I just grabbed this one. This is from the engine stand. Any kind of measuring tool that you have. And then I taped it off so I get a mark exactly of where it needs to be. I then remove the whole thing again. And I remove the insert tube. And basically, what happens is if I put this in here, like so, and I put this in here, now I know exactly where it is, and I can just go ahead and drill it from here. Actually, if I want to, I can actually do is I'll just doing it here, and I know that this is where the insert tube ends. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've marked where the pipe ends. This is the way it points outward for me, so I mark everything. This is a 2 feet long aluminum tube. So if you are gonna grab the same thing as I do and you don't want to do all that measurement, it is about 12 feet for this mark. But you know, just to make sure, you should really do your own measurement. But from here to the end to this one, it's basically 12 inches, sorry, 12 inches, and this is the beginning of the insert for me. Now, doing so gives me about a clearance of an inch and a half. What does that clearance mean? I'll show it to you more inside, but basically this is the wall of the docking room, which would be around here. After this point, you will not have access. You cannot drill here. But after this point, you cannot drill here because this is inside the docking tomb already. This is the outside part. Okay, so, and this is the end of the insert. So somewhere in between here is where I want to drill, but I want to drill more closer towards the end. Okay. So I've made the hole that I needed. It punctures all the way through to the insert. Actually, I'm okay with moving it so you can see. So see, it's exactly where the hole is right now. So just put it in. Alright, so I've gone ahead and screwed it in here. There's the bottom one here as well. I was trying test fitting it, and I did come across an interesting situation. So, and I'll show you afterwards why I'm doing it this way. I know it kind of doesn't make sense. So I have an extra aluminum extruder here. The insert tube is already in there, and I'm gonna put in the extra one that I have right now. Just easier to do it this way. And remember when I said that I printed out an extra piece that made mine a little bit longer because I wanted a stronger one at the very end. I didn't do this on purpose. It just happened to be this way, but it seems like in order to put it back on the frame, it's easier if you have something separate, because right now the insert is from here to here, and it's going to be difficult lining up the hole in there because it's already stuck in there. But having this, and I'm going to put it like that so there's an actual hole in there, and this is going to connect to the extruder inside. Like that, and that ends up being the pilot hole for the rest of the insert tube. So now it's in. A few pointers really quickly. On this. you're gonna use the extra aluminum extruder, the way it's positioned, to coincide with your inside one, because obviously it's gonna act like an extension. As this is laying flat, there should be no reason why this should be on the pointed end, right? So always keep that in mind. The reason why I went through all this trouble and doing it that way is, if you were to put the insert tube first and put in the sleeve, the aluminum sleeve, it's gonna be, I don't know how, so that you'll know exactly where the mark is in the hole on the insert tube. I don't think there's, if you guys can find a different way, or figure out a way how to mark the tube, I'm trying to think of a way. So I was able to do this after the fact, right? So it's already installed. What I've done is I made a mark on the plastic here and a corresponding mark in the aluminum steel or aluminum pipe, and on this side too, I've also made a mark on the plastic and a corresponding mark on the aluminum pipe. So technically, if I were to remove this and unscrew it and try to do the insert first, install the pipe, by aligning those two marks, technically the hole in the aluminum pipe and in the insert should align, so I can go ahead and put my screw in. Now, as you can see, there's not a lot of play in this one. You can still do it. You can kind of, I guess if you have small fingers, you can kind of hand tighten it. As you can see, it's kind of hard for me. But you don't really need this to be like super tight, because in the end, all these two screws are doing is, it's not for strength. All it's doing is it's ensuring that the insert tube that we put in, the insert pipe that we put in, is not rotating within the aluminum pipe. In fact, so if you can think of a better way of aligning the two holes in the aluminum pipe with the hole in the insert tube, then by all means do that. Also, if you can think of a better way to making sure that the pipe, the insert, the 3D printed insert is not rotating within the aluminum pipe, then by all means share it with the group, and we would be very, very grateful. Having said that, let's go ahead and zoom out and finish off the install. Right, so the pipe's is secure. I've removed the extra aluminum extruder that was just for guide anyway. Before I proceed, I'm going to install this. This is the docking port door, that I slightly modified in Slicer. This basically replaces this, which is the door. You already saw what it looks like without this. It's just basically, you can see right through to the interior and all the magnets. What this will do is just a sleeve. All I did was create a negative cylinder part here. I made this 57 millimeter, which is exactly the size of the pipe. If I were to redo this, I would make it maybe 60 millimeters, so it gives me a little bit play, and I'll show you why, to make it a little bit bigger. But you will need to install this first. Loose like that. Get your stand ready. A little bit closer like that. And since my Falcon is still partly skeleton, it's pretty easy to lift and slide it into the aluminum stand. Okay. Now, because this is pretty close to the aluminum size, it's going to be a little bit harder for me. I have to play with it a little bit, lift it so I can slide this in, align it properly, and that's it. And now, with the insert screwed into the aluminum, I'm going to secure this, and it's not going to move anymore because it's properly secured by those two screws, and it's not going to rotate. So that's good. That's what I wanted. Let me show you inside really quickly. And this is the result. This is the reason why I made that hole, so it doesn't look completely empty as it did before. And we're done. So I think I pretty much covered everything that I needed to cover. Again, technically, if you didn't want to screw the insert into the aluminum pipe, all you need to do is insert the 3D print plastic and then go in and align your aluminum frame here. Now I removed it again. Like I said, if you guys can find out another method in securing the inside insert into the aluminum frame, then by all means please share your ideas with the group. Something that's easier from what I did, obviously, because mine's kind of like hokey pokey. I mean, it worked. It's just, you know, there could be a better way of doing it. Now, there is another way of doing things. If you don't want to do this way, there might be an easier way of doing things. For example, the real problem of what I did this is because I don't know how to find and align the two holes between the pipe and the insert. However, if you were to do it here in the inside, it's obviously much easier because you can right here just kind of move things around and you should be able to hit it. The insert will hit the aluminum frame inside and this will be stopped in here, and all you have to do is rotate the aluminum pipe until you see the hole in the insert pipe. The problem is if you go through here, the only way to access this part is to remove this panel here, and in order to do that, you would have to you know because this is by magnets anyway, just remove the gun turret here, unscrew the two here. Unscrew the two bolts here, and then this whole panel should be removable because it's only attached through these magnet points. So that's the other way that you can do it. Remove the panel here, which is the port lower panel, and you'll have access to this point. But if you don't want to do that, then you can do it with this method. Either way. Anyway, that's it. That's my method of installing the new engine stand. It's now secure. It's not going to rotate once I've secured the aluminum frame over here. Like I said, if you can think of a better way of doing things or securing it, then by all means please share with the group. And I'll see you guys on my next build. Bye.